Hi everyone and welcome to our next tutorial on Adobe Premiere Elements. Video editing software takes a lot of resources and your machine really has to be running well and efficiently in order for it to work properly. So what exactly does that mean? Well, first thing, you shouldn't have a number of programs running while you're trying to do video editing. For instance, you shouldn't have Adobe Flash running at the same time. You shouldn't have Adobe Photoshop running at the same time. Try to keep the number of programs running at the same time to a minimum. The next thing you can do if you're having problems is go to the Start button and go into All Programs, and you're going to go to the Accessories folder, and you're going to scroll down. You're going to go to System Tools, and you're going to go to Disk Cleanup. And what this does is basically erases a bunch of files that are currently being used, and it will free up some space for your machine to use. So you can do that, and when you do a disk cleanup, you'll see this come up here. It calculates, it looks for files that it can delete, files that you don't really need. It takes a minute or two to populate this list, so you just have to wait for it. And when it's done, you'll see a bunch of check boxes pop up, and what you can do is just check all of the boxes, and you're just going to delete all of those files that pop up. And like I said, when that happens, then you'll have some extra space for your machine to work. So I'm going to let that run in the background, and I'm going to show you one other thing that you can do. When you're in Adobe Premiere, whether it's version 7 or version 11 or 12, you can go up here and go to Edit and go to Preferences. So Edit, Preferences, and then you're going to go down to something called Scratch Discs. So that's Edit, Preferences, Scratch Discs. I'm going to select on that. And then what you're going to see is something called Scratch Discs. And basically what that is it's extra space that the software can use to try and finish working on your project. So what you want to do is we want to make sure that we have this path here as your D drive. So you can see right now it's set to my C drive, but what I want you to do is set to your D drive. So you're going to click on Browse for each one of these, and then you're going to go to Computer and select the D drive. So do that for each one of these here. Make sure that each of these shows the D drive and not some other drive. Don't use the C drive because yours might be getting full. Don't use your network drive because we don't want to save across the network. So make sure that these are all set to D drive. Then you're going to click on OK. So that's called setting the location for the Scratch discs. So we're going to click there, and we're going to go back to our disk cleanup, and you can see that I've got some check boxes here. I'm just going to make sure that they're all selected, and when they're all selected, I'm going to click on OK, and I'm going to say yes. Go ahead, delete those files, and that will free up some space for your machine to run. So if you're finding that Adobe Premiere is lagging or it's having a hard time opening, please try those things that I showed you. So one, make sure you don't have too many programs running. Two, you can go into the Windows Start button, go to All Programs, go to Accessories, System Tools, and do a disk cleanup. And like I said, the last thing you can do is set the Scratch discs to the D drive. That's it for this tutorial. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.